Hey everyone, I'm here with Hayden. Is that right?
Aydin.
Aydin. See, we just met today. And I'm Andrew. We're here at Hills RC. And we're going to do a bit of a track walk with you today. I think you might have some gun tips for us around these lines here.
That's right.
Yeah, let's go. We are on the start finish. There's not much to talk about on the straightaway.
Yeah.
Although I will say the track is getting a nice groove.
You pretty much just hold it full throttle through here. But, you might want to consider hitting the brakes for corner one. It's nice to just get the Tokyo drift going right around here. You really want to just kick it out, nice counter steer around this corner, see if you can get that right front on the curbing here.
Yeah.
And maximum momentum headed into the tabletop here. But this is one of the loosest corners on the track, I'd say.
Hey, tell me, before we go on, I want to ask you a question, right? You are used to pipes, right? In the US, it's all pipes. What do you think of the kind of F1 style ripple strip cornering here in Australia? What do you think?
Ripple strip.
Yeah, look at it.
What
F1
does
style.
that mean?
Well, ripple strip, kind of like
You mean
got
curbing?
it's curbing.
So,
Yeah.
so you're asking me if I like curbs?
Yeah. As opposed to pipes in the US.
There are some tracks with curbs, like trackside, but I like curbs.
Yeah,
It lets you know if you got two tires on the curb, that means you're hitting a good line. So
Yeah, you can ride them, right?
you like that.
You can ride them. You can ride them.
You
So I'm with you with this one. Coming out wide here is the key. I also see a lot of people coming really close to the pipe up there. Not my style, but maybe I should.
The white pipe.
The pipe down the straight. Yeah, you hitting that thing?
I've scraped it.
Yeah.
Had my fair share of rubbing with it.
Yeah, yeah. So that could be the fast line. A lot of the fast
You
guys.
don't want to hit it.
Like
It's slow to hit it.
Yeah.
You want to come close though.
Yeah. That's right.
Yep.
But yeah, Tokyo drift around this corner.
You want to hug onto this exit here. That way you can hit this kind of straighter.
Yeah.
So it's easier to hug onto this exit if you're wide down there. So I think that does explain kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then you want to get
Super critical,
in here.
this area, I think. I think you can lose a lot of speed here if you don't hug this corner and you end up here. You're slow. It's half a second a lap already.
Yeah, you don't
gone.
want to be putting two tires on this curb because you want to clear the jump. So
Yep.
maybe with a sick whip for the fans. If you see any cameras out there,
A sick whip.
toss it fat for the boys.
That's you tomorrow.
Yeah, you know how I like my sick whip.
A sick whip. So jump this corner.
Show some chassis.
This corner here, I mean, it's fairly straightforward, but it's also not. So I know a lot of people are braking here. I am not. I try to carry the speed out wide here. What about yourself? Are you hitting the brakes here on the anchors?
Just a
quick
slight
tap.
little tap there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Try to get close to this curb and carry some momentum out wide. Take the F1 lines. Shout out Lewis
F1,
Hamilton.
Ripple strip. It is an F1 track. But yeah, you can see just how hard the track is here. Let's have a look at the surface here because, I mean, I'm not a local, but this is probably the best condition I've seen the track. I know the guys, led by Pete Cooper over there, has been doing a lot of work on this track at the moment. A lot of rolling during the week. A lot of water's gone into it. We had a week of rain here, or about 4 days of rain here last week. So I think that's been really, really beneficial for the track. And the grooves come right out, right? So
The groove's coming in. The groove's coming in nice. This morning it was a little bit of a mud bog, but I'd say over the past 12 hours the track has developed very nicely.
I agree with you.
You want to come out nice and wide here. Nice swinging line. Get kind of close to that pipe, but not too close.
Yep.
That way it sets yourself up for the chicane.
Yeah, get down low here. Yeah,
Seen a lot of guys taking the jump line over the ripple strip corner.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is preferred, but you want to hit it as straight as you possibly can. Maintain maximum momentum.
Yep.
Keep the wheels on the ground.
Yeah, you want to be touching these corners through here. Absolutely. If you're not touching these corners, you're steering, so straight line through here. I'd sometimes hit this and jump. I've also had you had a big crash here, didn't you, once? Have you crashed here today?
I've crashed everywhere today.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, you can go pretty quick through here. You want to be hitting every single corner and rip strip through here.
You just want to just give them a little...
We'll touch them. You want to rub them. You want to kiss them.
Look kissy.
And then this is tricky, right? So let's talk about this corner because in the morning, and I don't know if you experienced this first time on the track this morning, right, for yourself. In the morning to get this jump, me personally, I had to go wide here, right? You can't really hug the corner too much and hit this jump. Personally, I don't know, were you doing that?
I would say this is the trickiest part of the track.
Yeah,
Especially, it's not so difficult with four-wheel drive, but two-wheel drive, to get the momentum to clear this double with the low amounts of traction here, is pretty difficult. So it's best to kind of hang on to this right-hander here.
Oh, announcement. Something's closing. Yeah, but I think, how were you through here today? Because I know you were, a few little
you kind of want
tweaks
to
you
hang
made
on
today.
to this exit here.
Yep.
That way you're somewhere out here, and then you want to cut back in because this double does have a little bit more lip, I'd say, between my 2 feet right here. Place no limits.
I was going to get you. Yeah, so
And,
this is super critical. Yeah, I'm with
yeah,
you.
maximum
Super critical.
momentum.
I'm talking two-wheel drive here, right? Four-wheel drive, yeah, you can do it all day long, but in the mornings, yeah, you don't want to be singling if you can help it in the mornings, especially when it's slick. So, hey, tell me, what's your line through here? I've seen a lot of guys go tight. I like to come out wide, but I don't know. I'd love your view on this.
With two-wheel, I'm just happy just to clear this.
Yeah, okay.
If I'm not framing this, then it's a good lap. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So whether I'm here, it don't matter. But four-wheel, you can kind of keep some more momentum, swing it out wide.
Yeah.
You kind of want to just make everything a nice, smooth arc. If you watch F1, you know what I'm talking about. You don't see Max Verstappen up there driving it up the inside and corking the corner. So, yeah, you want to just embody your inner Max Verstappen. You know what
Is
I'm
that
saying?
right? Okay, Max. Yeah.
That is right.
Interesting F1 weekend this weekend. Let's see how Yuki goes. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, anywhere down here, I mean, yeah, so personally, I think the faster
Ideal
line
is
is
probably
out
right
wide.
here.
Yeah, here, so you can line up the next corner, right, and whip it. Are you whipping it?
Right.
You whipping it here?
Nice little scrubby dub.
Yep.
Scrub a dub. Make
Yep.
sure the face of the jump's nice and clean. Brush
Yep.
off that dirt with the tires.
So if you're landing here, you can see a lot of people landed here with their shock towers digging it out. Might have
Probably
been
want
me.
to land right about. You want to be driving right about here. That way you just get nice and tight on that corner here.
Yeah.
You know.
Now you don't want to get caught on the pipe here. I know I've hit the pipe a few times here and you get caught up.
The ripple strip.
On the ripple strip.
is
that,
where I would say is an
it's ripple
ideal
strip,
place
right,
to be.
Tony? Yeah, ripple strip.
Just the inner two front tires. You don't want to be golfing with the grass. You know what I'm saying?
You don't. You don't. And that's another thing with the grass this morning. The grass.
Yeah.
It was so wet.
I jumped in the infield over there, and my car was spraying
You
up
needed
water.
wets on, right?
Thought I was gonna catch fire.
Wets on. Yeah, and then you get on the track, it's Disney on ice
Needed the
for at
enters.
least half a lap. You
Needed
watch
the
this
enters.
Disney on ice? You know what I'm talking about? Disney on ice.
Not a
sliding
Disney
around.
guy.
Okay.
Is that like the Frozen Elsa?
Yeah, I don't know, but Disney on ice do donuts.
Yeah.
Now, I want your opinion on this corner too.
Yeah, probably full throttle.
Aiden's been yeah.
I would say
Now,
full throttle.
in two-wheel drive, I like the high line because you're not drifting off. Maybe 4-wheel too. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving secrets away. But you
Maximum
should be giving
steering.
me
You know,
secrets.
a lot of off camber. You don't want to be on that off camber because the tires just aren't really gripping down there. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit more flat ground up here, straighter line, more momentum. You get better steering, and it'll just get you to that double.
So where are you here?
faster.
So where are you here then? Sorry.
Yeah, I want to be as tight as I possibly can be right here.
Yeah, great.
Maybe,
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not exactly setting the pace out there. I'm looking around P12, so I don't know if you really want to take advice from me, but I'm trying to be right here.
I'm with you. I think that's a quicker line and less risky for drifting out.
More steering. You don't want to clip this pipe though.
No.
You don't want to be touching that.
Again, not as big as US pipes. They drag you in.
Oh, they sure do.
Yeah.
And then you want to just swing it out here, keep it just full throttle. Nice little scrub a dub over this bad Jimmy right here. I'd say hit it maximum speed, maximum momentum. Little scrub.
You want to have the car loaded up here, right? You don't want to be coming out backing off. Like you want it to be fairly loaded up.
You want to be
like to jump into the corner. Yeah. So I like to get a bit fancy off this jump, Aiden. Like as in
fancy,
tweaking it.
A bit fancy.
And personally, I like to try to land on that corner. Again,
if you can land it right around here, you're doing a good job.
Yeah,
I'd
you want to
say.
get up there.
You got a nice angle. You want the car to already be pointed that way. That's why you do a little whipper tail off of here. Get yourself set up, and just beat. Just on this thing once again.
Now I've noticed a lot of you US guys, right? They drive a bit different to the AU guys, right? So this is my observations, right? A lot of the US guys point and squirt. So yourself, and I've seen Spencer right up close against this pipe. A lot of the locals actually going out wide. So I don't know, it's pros and cons to each.
Speed tip. He's helping me out here.
Well, maybe. What's your view? I know, I think there's pros and cons to each, but a lot of people are squirting it here. Others are coming out wide. I like to come out wide as we get down there to get the next corner. But
it's probably ideal to be about center of the lane back here. I more often than not end up brushing up against that inside pipe. That's not on purpose. That's just a skill issue. You know what I'm saying?
You know what that is? It's because, I remember the first day I spent on this track, I hit this thing all day long. So, it's a depth perception thing. So this is the furthest part away from the driver's stand.
Just
right?
describe my day. Just mowing this pipe with my wheel nuts.
You'll be good.
My wheel nuts are green and black from this bad boy right here.
We'll go suss them out later on. Those wheel nuts are yours. Now, this corner, obviously down in the
you want to make sure you're going slow enough. You want to start checking up back here. And then just make sure that you're not blowing the cameraman's ankles out on the outside line there. You want to just be going slow enough to just let that outer front tire just grab the dirt.
Yeah.
Just grab it.
And
turn.
are you out here lining up for this corner? Or are
Yeah,
you tight?
I'd say you're standing right in the
Yeah,
line.
yeah.
Good
I can
line
see
there.
your green and black wheel nuts. All right, scrubbing out here.
Yep, green and black wheel nuts. You want to keep them in the middle
So,
of the lane.
yeah, you can easily lose a lot of speed, a lot of time, lap time on this corner if you go wide, right?
I'd say,
Just if you
I'd
come
say
out
it's
wide.
ideal.
Yeah.
Inner two wheels up on this pipe. You know,
Yeah.
if Angar
Ripple
was
strip.
here,
Ripple strip, mate.
he'd be just.
You'd be here. That's right. So yeah, that corner's good. You got to just back to this corner. You got to be careful. You don't want to. I'm not going to say traction roll, but come in too sideways.
Traction roll.
Come
Yeah,
in
you're a
too
funny
sideways.
guy. You're actually hilarious. Traction roll.
Oh, you know, come in sideways and in the boondocks into the camera
This guy
grass.
must not be running the spec tires in his traction
yeah.
roll.
Oh yeah, that's another secret. I'll tell you about that one off camera. So yeah, you do need to have the car fairly straight here, so you don't not traction roll. You
can catch some rim
roll.
fly into the bamboo out
Rim
there.
roll.
You don't want that. Take
Yeah.
out the tripod. Those things are expensive. Come on now.
Yeah. Now, if you get the power down well here, you can kind of jump out of this corner and pull a little bit of a wheel stand. I don't know.
Wheelies.
My
You're
can, I've got
traction
grip.
rolling and wheeling.
Yeah, I got grip. What about you?
Wow, this guy's
You need,
saucing.
you need the
Tech
right
him.
shirt, mate. You need the right
DQ
shirt.
him.
Yeah.
DQ him.
No, you can pop a bit of a wheelie out of here, and I think this corner is a lot of fun. Downhill.
This is
Yep.
the most amount of traction, I think, on the
Yeah,
corner. This is
that's
the
fine.
highest grip corner.
It
This is
is.
the only corner that you can kind of power through,
Yep.
and the car will just take it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can really load the suspension up on this. There's a little bit of elevation here. I don't know how much justice the camera is doing, but there's a little bit of downhill elevation, and yeah, you can kind of weight the suspension, and the tires are seeming to grip in this corner more than
Yeah, I
any other
agree.
corner.
And you can give it a good squirt mid corner too. I feel.
You just love to
you
give it a
can be
nice good
confident,
squirt.
because yeah, everyone loves a good squirt through this corner. So, all right, let's move on. Now,
Yeah.
so this jump here, right?
Yeah, it's got
There's-
some different spots on the takeoff.
Yeah.
For sure. Not
Yep.
all the same. There is a bit of a low line on the
Yes,
inside.
I was gonna. Yep.
I have
You
learned
tell
that
me.
today.
Yeah.
And if you can,
No more
if you
insider
got-
knowledge for you.
If you got the balls for it, then you can hit this bad Jimmy like right
Yep.
here, and it shoots you nice and low.
Yeah.
But you could easily get some more black and green wheel nuts and
So,
do a backflip 360.
Aydin, you've just worked out the locals line, mate. That's it.
and I don't think
Yeah.
that is the way to go. But,
So it depends. There's two ways you can take this. Yes, that is a lower kind of the lower lip, right?
you
so
have
you don't
to
jump as
risk
far.
it for the biscuit.
You do.
as
If
they
you hit,
say.
and if you have this right, you can jump to the corner.
I don't know if that's ideal.
No,
'cause
but
if
it can be done.
If you jump way out there, there's about a 50% chance that your chassis is going to smack the ground and you're going to do some donuts.
That is possible, and there's a risk you take
So
for the
it
risk for the
is,
biscuit.
a
Yeah.
lot of biscuits to be risked it for in this section, this
Yeah.
40-foot stretch.
Yep.
But foot, or you guys don't use feet out
Meters,
here, do you?
centimeters, millimeters. Yep.
Yeah,
you know
you
the
guys
real
drive
way.
on the wrong side of the road anyways.
Nah,
so.
yeah, no. It's the way to measure things. Is in,
Yeah, I mean, I'd
metric,
say it's
mate.
the safest to land back here, where there's a little bit of
Yeah.
downslope.
Agree.
And
Yep.
then get a nice little drift going. This is one of the loosest corners on the track, I'd have to say. I'm definitely doing some counter steering in this corner. You know, it's some drifting, Tokyo drift, like Han.
Don't count me. Hey, just come step back a minute. Don't count me out with jumping to the corner, because I think sometimes it can load the car up a bit. Another secret, maybe load the car up in the corner and actually get a bit more grip. It's tricky to do, but
Okay.
there is a way you can jump to this corner.
Maybe that'll
I'm telling
get me
you,
up
you
to
can, you can try.
P9
You can try that one
from
again.
12.
A little bit of risk, but there is reward for this corner. So yeah, this is quite a critical corner to get right, because it does set you up for the next hairpin onto the straight.
Yes.
And we'll head that way now.
Yes,
Is that
we
all
will
right?
head that way. So in the morning, you got
Oh,
some
yeah.
dew on the grass, and you don't want to be jumping into this grass here. Because
Why is
took
that?
my four-wheel drive through the car wash. Luckily, the reed electronics are still gripping. But, you know, could have been bad. Could have been detrimental.
How long were you in the grass for?
Whole run.
Oh, right.
Just spin around.
Right, okay, cool. Yeah, it's dry now in the mornings. Oh, sorry for yelling there. It is quite moist in the mornings, as is the whole track. So we're on to the last corner of the track. Now
you can
again,
power it into this face
yeah.
here and break up the face. That'll set the car up nice for this corner. And get yourself a nice little drifty around this bad boy. It's ideal to
Drifty.
get that right front up right here and just be like
Yep.
almost wheeling around the corner.
Yep. This is a tricky spot in two-wheel drive to get right, I think. Are you feeling your car's light and unloading a little bit here?
yeah.
I've been watching a lot of cars
Yeah,
around here today. We've been marshalling.
Because you could kind of almost jump into it a little bit.
Yeah, you can jump to it.
So,
you can ride the corner.
You can definitely overload the tread on the tires
Yeah.
quite easily there.
Now, another thing I noticed is the US guys versus the AU guys will say how they take this corner. So I like to power down here. I mean, most of us do to get quicker. personally, I'm coming out wide onto the straight here, but I know coming off this jump, a lot of the US guys are like hugging tight, jumping close to the pipe and gassing down the straight. What do you think's the quickest line around here?
You know,
What do you think?
still 12th, so I couldn't tell you what exactly.
I know you've
is
only
the
been here a day
quickest,
as well, so you know.
But I think it's probably ideal to land. Well, I will say I've had my fair share of jumping too far on this thing,
Yeah.
flying into the woods on landing. So there is some spots on here that you can grab some rim. You don't want to be grabbing rim.
Yep.
You want straight tire.
There's
here.
been a lot of rim grabs here. Check it out. Check out those
Yeah, a
grooves.
couple of those are from the orange car, Aydin Horne out there.
Oh, yep.
So yeah, you want to kind of almost just shortchange this just to be safe. You know,
Yeah.
yet another biscuit to be had for the risket.
Because if you over jump it here too, I find the car wants to unload, like hits, unloads, and yeah, is that what you did, right? Spin
Oh,
off
yeah.
into the Hills Off-Road RC sign.
Took out a Marshall actually.
Yeah? You check on him? Is he okay?
Nope.
Okay. He's fine. Yeah, here we go. So this is back to the straightaway. You know, Aydin here loves to go, just miss the pipe. I'm not ballsy enough for that. But you know what? I might try it. So yeah, this is where you're on the gas as early. It's key to get on the gas as early as possible. And as you can see, it's quite a long straightaway here at Hills RC. Fairly big compared to the straightaways you're used to. In a smaller track, same?
I wouldn't say so. I'd say this track is about just right on size. Just right.
Yeah,
Not too big, not too
perfect.
small.
Yep.
Just enough to send you home happy.
So are you using a bigger motor here compared to back home? Bigger gearing?
Oh,
to
definitely
get to
not.
straight? Okay,
Definitely not,
same.
because back home there's traction, so
Yeah, okay.
you can kind of pull the gas.
But
a
you're using
little
more
bit
turbo down the straight? No, not necessarily.
No.
Okay.
Definitely
I'll
not.
wound my thing up for the straight because you want that thing to sing.
Maybe that's how you're doing wheelies.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, here we are coming back down the straightaway. Got the 10-car grid already all painted up. And that's a lap, Andrew and Aydin, of Hills RC. I hope you enjoyed that and we didn't talk too much
That's right.
non-business.
And
Hope you enjoyed.
I hope you're having a good day, mate.